You ever been guilty of procrastination? I know I have, more times than I care to admit. You know how it goes. A big goal or task can seem like a mountain to climb. Sometimes it's easier to check your emails than to get stuck into the work. I suppose that's human nature. Procrastination can and will stop any progress dead, and it all gets left to the last minute. And then you end up feeling stressed out. When I was looking for ways to deal with procrastination, one of the things I came across was a book called The Pomodoro Technique by Francesco Cirillo. The author is Italian, and Pomodoro is the Italian word for tomato, apparently. So you might wonder how a tomato can help with procrastination. Well, the technique involves the use of a timer, and Cirillo just happened to use a kitchen timer in the shape of a tomato. Obviously, the name doesn't give you any insight into the technique, but it does explain why it has such a strange name. So what is the Pomodoro Technique? Well, it's a technique that's based on the results of studies that suggest productivity increases if you carve your working time up into small chunks of between 20 minutes to 45 minutes, with breaks in between. Cirillo suggests working in 25-minute slots with a 5-minute break. You use the break to move around, maybe get a drink, clear the mind, so that you start the next session a little bit fresher. He calls each of these 25-minute sessions a Pomodoro. I'm not sure what the obsession with tomatoes is, but there you go. Also, if you're going to be true to the method, you should get a tomato-shaped timer. Well, that's up to you. What he does suggest, though, is that you get a mechanical timer, or something which makes a noise as it counts down. Apparently, the ticking of the timer helps you to maintain focus. If you're the kind of person that's easily distracted, it probably would give a sense of urgency, and it would help you stay focused. The idea behind these Pomodori, and that's the plural of Pomodoro, by the way, the idea is to break the work up into more manageable chunks. Whatever the task is that you keep putting off, you only commit to a small chunk of it for now. To take the example from the book, let's say you have a big presentation to prepare. It might seem like an overwhelming task to accomplish all at once. But committing the next 25 minutes to a small part of it, well, that's easy. Now, you might expect there are a few rules that you need to follow to get the best out of this technique. Firstly, you don't get half a Pomodoro. You must keep on working for the full 25 minutes. If you finish before the 25 minutes is up, go over your work and review it, make any changes you want to make, but keep going until the timer finishes. If you happen to get distracted from your work before the 25 minutes is up, you must start the Pomodoro from the beginning again. So make sure everyone around you knows you're not available during that time. If anybody tries to interrupt you, you politely tell them that you don't have time at the moment, but you'll get back to them when you do. Okay, second rule. Once the 25 minutes is up, you must stop. Save your work and take a break, wherever you've got up to in your work. Don't be tempted to push it out for another minute or two. The breaks are just as important as the Pomodori. If you ignore this rule, you'll find it hard to stay motivated. Make sure you switch off completely during your break. No checking your email or having a quick look at some other work. You need to give your mind time to refresh, ready for the next Pomodoro. It's usually a good idea to get up and move around during a break. This helps to keep you energized. Now thirdly, after you've completed 4 Pomodori in this way, give yourself a longer break, somewhere between 15 minutes and 30 minutes. So what's the point of all these rules? Well, the idea is to build up a productivity habit, to condition the mind into recognizing the difference between the two activities, working and relaxing. You condition your mind subconsciously to expect to focus for just short periods of activity. It's easy to stay focused for 25 minutes, and that brings you a step closer to completing your task. Okay, so here's an outline of the technique from the book. Firstly, make an estimate of how much work you can carry out in each 25-minute Pomodoro. Knowing how much work you can expect to get done in 25 minutes comes with practice. In the beginning, you'll just have to make your best guess. Clearly, you need a timer of some sort. You can get an ordinary kitchen timer, of course, but you could also use a smartphone, a stopwatch, or software on your computer. Whatever works best for you. If you want that sense of urgency from a ticking timer, a kitchen timer might be the best bet. You'll also need to make two lists, an inventory and a to-do list. The inventory is a list of all the things you need to get done to complete the whole task. It's a detailed view of the whole task. The to-do list contains things you want to get done today. The tasks on your to-do list are taken from your inventory. Seems obvious. And you need to estimate how long it will take for each of these daily tasks and assign however many Pomodori you think it will take. Let's go back to the example from the book. You might say that your presentation outline would take about 75 minutes, or 3 Pomodori to complete. Write up your presentation notes, 4 Pomodori, and so on. Decide how many Pomodori you intend to use today, then assign tasks to fill them up. So you could say, for instance, I'm going to work through 10 Pomodori today. That will be 3 for task 1, 4 for task 2, and so on. When you actually get stuck into the work, you're only focusing on 1 Pomodoro for just 25 minutes. The work starts to look a lot easier, and by the end of the day, you've made real progress. Now, there are a couple of points to consider to get the most benefit. It's a good idea to vary the tasks through the day. That way you don't get bored with repetition, which helps you stay focused. Also, completing a smaller subtask still feels like a success, and it is. You can celebrate that success. You can feel good about the fact that you've completed something, rather than get depressed about not completing the larger task yet. Even a small success can be a powerful motivator. So that's about it. That's the Pomodoro technique. If you decide to try it out for yourself, let me know how you get on. I hope you enjoyed watching. And until next time, good luck.